Hey, it's Pete back with another video, obviously. Another GarbAugust video, I meant to say, and I have voyaged into new territory. I'm going to read you this paragraph and see how quickly you can come up with what book this is. Beginning with chapter 1, which has an epigraph. All the chapters in this book, all 15 chapters, have an epigraph by people ranging from Stendhal to Emerson, to lesser luminaries. The first chapter has one from John Burroughs. I don't know who that is, but maybe someone can tell me. I forgot to look it up. Anyway, chapter 1's epigraph. How much there is in books that one does not want to know. Very ominous. It was a bright, sunny day in early autumn, one of those days New Yorkers dote on and take pictures of and point out to their country cousins as an example of the city at its best. The city after summer, after the pavement stopped frying. The city not yet locked into the icy streets and frozen dog wastes of winter. A picture postcard of a day to write home to Cincinnati or Scranton or Tullahoma about, and every New Yorker with an excuse was out of doors, clogging the sidewalks, slowing traffic, frightening the pigeons, tour buses. Hot dog vendors, street musicians, flower sellers, all had noticed an increase in trade. People were more cheerful. There was an excess of happy normalcy in the air. Some more description, and we meet our first two characters. Two men who particularly reveled in the sunlight that September day were Harlan Beaujay and Robert Leonard Combs. Beaujay had once been a jockey until at the age of 24 he had inexplicably gained 45 pounds and 4 inches in height, which finished forever his dream of winning the Triple Crown. This had been some 35 years ago, and Beaujay had been unemployed since. His partner, Combs, a taciturn Oklahoma Indian, had come to New York to make his fortune as a singer. He had drive, ambition, daring, pizzazz, everything in fact, but a voice. And so Harlan Beaujay and Robert Leonard Combs were now partners in leisure, philosophy, and life. They sat beneath the great jaws of a stone lion guarding the Fifth Avenue entrance to the New York Public Library, passing a bottle of Chateau plain wrap back and forth and discussing the nature of existence. Robert, my lad, have you ever been in there? In there? In the library? Sure, I guess so, a couple of times. Wonderful things, books. Right. But dangerous, exceedingly dangerous. Lots of dangerous things in books. Combs was nonplussed. Once again, Beaujay had run off with the thread of conversation. Dangerous? You mean like guys who cut the centers out and hide guns and dope and stuff inside? Beaujay snorted in exasperation. I'm speaking of ideas, you melonhead. Dangerous ideas. Ideas and philosophies. He took a long draw of the wine. Dangerous ideas. And that, of course, is the opening scene of the novelization of Ghostbusters, the 1984 film written by two guys. Oh, I just had it back to the page. Written by the screenplay by Dan Ackroyd and Harold Ramis. For the film directed by Ivan Reitman, starring Ackroyd, Ramis, Sigourney Weaver, Bill Murray, and others, none of whom are either play either of those characters, who do not appear in the film script, just in the novelization, adapted by Richard Mueller. Let's see if I can get to the cover. Dedicated to his mom and dad. I think I'll do the dedications of each of these novelizations when they come up. I've done some other videos on novelizations already, and every novelization I've read so far for Garbology has a dedication. And this video is dedicated to those two motorcyclists who have finally cleared the intersection. Alright. Let me go quickly to find a cover here. Ghostbusters, I originally saw it when it came out, of course, 1984. Another bit of a theme. I guess this is just the way I watch movies. I never watched it again. I pretty well remember it. I remember it enough to say that... Oh, God, I shouldn't have come out here. That the book is very different, as you heard from that excerpt. Richard Mueller, the author, who would go on to be hired by J. Michael Straczynski to work on the Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters cartoon series. So this led to more gigs by him. Wrote quite a bit of stuff beforehand. So he did a lot of TV writing, a lot of commercial writing, documentaries, things like that. Apparently these days it looks like he is an indie author now. He's got some crime books up and that are kind of formatted like the templates that you can use that Amazon provides for self-publishers to use, which are really not good to use because they don't look very nice. But anyway, so that's a little on Richard Mueller. He is a very impressive writer in this book. I think this is going up before my other novelization videos are going up. I've doing a bunch of novelizations this month, and I think they'll be fun. But there's two ways to do them. Most people take the script, they add adjectives, and they turn it in. But Richard Mueller really made this into his own novel. There's quite a bit of backstory. It's hard to tell how late or how close this parallels the actual finished movie, but there's a lot of character stuff, and he really had fun writing it. And he has a background in science fiction and fantasy. According to his bio on Amazon, he was mentored by by Bradbury and Harlan Ellison when he first arrived in California. So, like a lot of people, writers in California, they dabble a bit in writing, but if they segue into, like he did, into cartoons and stuff like that, it's more lucrative, so they probably stick with that more. But I really enjoyed reading it. I haven't rewatched the movie, which is what I've done with some other novelizations I've done, but I think he did a good job, and I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. And let me see if I can find the cover to put something up here. I found a really cool image of a cover. I looked up this on Wikipedia. I was kind of curious about the writing process of it, because not only is it well written, it is not the only novelization of the movie. There was a British one that was only published in Great Britain. See if I can find that real quickly here on my thing. Okay, this book was originally called Ghostbusters, The Supernatural Spectacular, credited to Richard Mueller. There's not a lot of it on Wikipedia, hardly anything, and there's a little bit more on Ghostbusters Wikipedia. Thank God there's a Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters has its entire Wikipedia. Probably needs one. There's an exhaustive amount of information on this franchise, which had one great movie in 1984 and has had a lot of trouble since. A lot of I was going to say knockoffs, but Saturday morning cartoon versions, and there's a standalone novel which I don't think is in print now. Ghostbusters, the novel that I read is in an edition with Ghostbusters 2, an electronic edition, and also a print edition, so it's been in print all this time. So which shows its probability, its popularity. It's got pretty good reviews on Amazon. Read it because it's a different take on the characters, different points of view, many different characters. He really he made it a movie about the soul of the city and how different people react to ghosts and things like that. I'm probably overselling it, but which is kind of in the spirit of what Ackroyd and Ramis wanted to do with these screenplays. That was a big part of it, was sort of a story about New York City, not just about ghost busting. And it's fun. It's not super hilarious. I think the writer had the sense to not try and make it a comedy book, but try and make it's kind of outrageous and the things that happen, but you can't really beat the great cast for comedy, including, other than the people I've already mentioned, there's also Harold Ramis and, of course, the great Sigourney Weaver, who's just wonderful, as always. We love our Sigourney Weaver movies from the 80s. Anyway, so this 1984, there it is. There's another Ghostbusters novel called just Ghostbusters, novel. Was written by Larry Milne based on the first film and was published by Coronet Books in 84. I believe Coronet is a British publisher. Might be Australian. I can tell from the livery. I can't really show it to you, unfortunately, because I've got... I don't have it up on the right screen. My phone is dead. It looks like a British cover. So I don't know why there was different novelizations for different regions, but... and the Larry Milne one apparently is not in print anymore, but maybe people can find out if anybody's read it and would care to leave a comment or do their own video on it. I would love to learn more about it, because I'm a little bit obsessed with these novels now. Ghostbusters, very much of its time, but endured. It's a franchise. It's a big franchise. It's one that stuck through. You know, it's almost up there with, I wouldn't put it up there with Star Trek and Star Wars, but you almost going to have to for some people. It hit some people at the right age. I was a little old when it came out. I was an adult, so I was like 23 or something. I mean, as grown up as I was going to get. Not really exactly an adult, but I think I might have even lived in New York when it came out. I'll have to think about that. Who cares? Ghostbusters, a novelization by Mueller from original work by Ackroyd and Ramis. Worth a read. He worked really hard on it, and it was enjoyable. Okay, I guess I'll call it there. I have more stuff to say about the franchise maybe in another video. I guess you can guess what that means, and we'll talk later. I got to come up with ways to end these, or I should just stop them. That would be the best way. Just stop them.